Grant me my freedom, this simple, radical right to breathe. Modern social structures frequently categorize the desire for psychological withdrawal as a pathology. The sanctum described in the text provides an architectural model for maintaining cognitive function amidst high external pressure. The ultimate objective of this structure is the sovereignty of the self, a state of psychological autonomy. This state requires a framework built upon 4 specific pillars, beginning with the establishment of a biological baseline. The second pillar involves enforcing rigid boundaries to counteract the influence of social groups. The third pillar focuses on the transmutation of raw experience into a durable form of consciousness. Deliberate separation from the collective serves as the initial step in constructing a mind capable of independent, higher-order thought. Modern life often forces the human brain into a state of chronic cognitive overload. This erratic physiological data represents a sustained sympathetic nervous system response, the fight-or-flight mechanism remaining active long after a threat has passed. When these signals compound, they create the heavy gray weight of the mental fog described in the text, obscuring clear thought. The poem's Inch of Confidence refers to the mechanical override of this system through deep diaphragmatic respiration. While passive chest breathing maintains the stress loop, intentional diaphragmatic control acts as a biological switch to engage the parasympathetic nervous system. This switch results in the forced downregulation of the sympathetic response. Chaotic noise settles into a predictable, steady rhythm. This stable state serves as the baseline requirement for any creative or philosophical reflection. Intellectual autonomy begins with the physical management of the body's internal stress response. The calm biological baseline allows for the construction of the sanctum, the internal mental space. The text specifies this as a sacred necessity, framing withdrawal as a functional requirement for self-understanding. Psychologist Abraham Maslow provided a framework for why humans must protect their cognitive focus to reach higher stages of development. A reliance on external validation tethering the individual to groupthink creates what the text calls the gravity of a crippled, narrow mindset. In Maslow's hierarchy, self-actualization sits at the peak, representing a level of development distinct from basic social and safety needs. Reaching this level necessitates the creation of boundaries to filter out external inputs that might disrupt the individual's focus. The sanctum functions as a protected laboratory for the mind to process information without the distortion of outside pressure. Sovereignty requires the exclusion of external voices to maintain the integrity of the self. Without a method for processing the outside world, a boundary can become a sterile enclosure. The mind requires the splurge upon the senses to provide the raw data needed for growth and to prevent stagnation. Carl Jung's work in depth psychology offers a model for how the mind organizes this sensory section. Jung identified individuation as the process of synthesizing the disparate parts of the self into a coherent whole. This process uses the friction of human experience as fuel. Disorganized data points are drawn into a central hub for integration. This conversion distills emotional and sensory weight into an organized state of consciousness. This result is a legacy of transmutation, a psychological continuity that differs from the biological continuity of bloodlines. Autonomy provides the necessary environment to process life's intensity at a synthesized resolution. The completed architecture allows the mind to soar to the peaks and remain stable at that altitude. Identifying the distinction between isolation and solitude is critical for understanding this stability. Isolation presents as a state of psychological distress and deficit, marked by biological panic. Solitude represents a state of integration where the mind's internal networks are self-sustaining. The architecture is finalized through physiological control, enforced boundaries, and the transmutation of experience. Ultimately, the autonomous mind maintains its absolute, unwavering stability, completely independent of the chaotic social or environmental turbulence churning in the world far below. The sovereign self is a result of meticulous construction. By following this blueprint, the individual finds that the ultimate psychological companionship is located within.